Hello Sagittarius, I'm Christy, you're watching Tiny Turtle Tarot and this is your reading for the week ahead. As always, if anything I say resonates or you feel it will in the future, please let me know by liking and subscribing. Let's get on with your reading. What's happening for the beautiful Sagittarians this week? Firstly, you have the Nine of Pentacles, then you have Judgment, then you have Seven of Pentacles, then you have the Seven of Cups. So let's get into your reading. As always, I'm going to talk you through these cards first and then clarify and get more out of them. Firstly though, the Nine of Pentacles is really cool in the way that it's all about your independence. It's also about your stability. So it kind of comes under that energy of being like, you're feeling very financially independent this week. You're feeling like you've got your ducks in a row. You know what you're doing. And it's also just sometimes a feeling of being so secure within yourself and creating a nice amount of success for yourself, where you're then very careful who you let in or who you trust in a way, because Nine of Pentacles, she's in her garden and she's made this beautiful garden for herself, but then she's very wary of who she lets in and who's going to look after it or who's going to just take from the garden. And I just feel as if that's where you're at this week, is kind of realizing the abundance you've created for yourself, or kind of looking around and liking certain parts of your life, but then being very careful who you show it to, if that makes sense. Then you have Judgment. So there's something where you're trying to use your better judgment. I don't know, it feels like this is kind of backwards, like it's you judging, and in a very literal sense. I realise that's not the meaning of the card usually, but I'm just getting this feeling from this of you're judging and you're trying to use your most positive judgment for people. And the reason I say that is I feel as if there's a lot of you that are very wise, and you know it can go both ways, and you can kind of see the best in people or the worst, and there's something where you're trying to see the best in people and you're trying to kind of realize that majority of people are actually good intentioned, but there's something where you're trying to focus on the good, not the bad, basically. So for me to be showing this, it might mean there's something around you this week of people not like, people kind of not showing up completely in their most highest self towards you, and then you're kind of like choosing how you respond. Seven of Pentacles, there's something you're being very patient about. There's something you're waiting for, something you're kind of like not seeing much growth, or you're not seeing much improvement. It is growing though. It's almost like there's a lot of roots growing, but you can't see that. But it's all beneath the surface, right? And you're gonna, at some point, you're gonna see everything, all the growth that's happening. And for me to be talking about this, it feels as if it could be around your career. Maybe it feels like you've been stuck in the same place for a while. I've been holding that hiccup in for a while. Excuse me. But it feels as if even if everything seems a little bit mundane, or you don't know if all the work you're putting in is paying off, it actually is. It is, and you're going to start to see that very soon. But it's like, hold on, keep going. Seven of Cups, there's an energy of daydreaming around you this week. So whether that's fantasizing about someone, something, you're very much in your kind of like just almost like fantasizing and trying to find ways to enjoy the waiting. So if that's you waiting for a career upgrade, you're kind of fantasizing about what it's going to be like, what it's going to lead to, what opportunities you're going to have, who you're going to meet, right? There's something where you're kind of thinking big, which is amazing. If you're waiting for, if this is something else valuable to you, whether it be you're waiting for a home, I was going to say home loan, very specific, but you're waiting for something to come through, it's like you're fantasizing about how you're going to create that home, right? Especially if you're building it yourself, it's like you're fantasizing about what it would look like, how you would decorate it, and all the kind of little details. You're really in this daydreaming mode, but it's keeping you in this optimistic state instead of being It's a very Sagittarius thing, because I feel like there's a lot of other people that would be like, I'm sick of waiting, I'm done, I give up. Whereas you're like, oh, I'm still waiting. Okay, cool, it gives me time to kind of figure out what colour I want to paint the walls, and what, you know, what the way I want the house set up. Do I want a balcony? And it's like you're finding ways to enjoy the waiting. This could even be about a relationship or something, and it's taking its time, and you're like, but I can fantasize. Like it's in that fun energy of like, you get to just imagine what's about to play out, if that makes sense. Clarifying the Nine of Pentacles, Three of Swords with the Nine of Pentacles. There is something here. Three of Swords is kind of, can be quite negative sometimes, so it just feels as if Nine of Pentacles very positive. You're in your garden and you've created a lot of success, or you've created this very safe environment for yourself. And with the Three of Swords, it's almost like I don't know why I'm getting, you're shooting yourself in the foot in some way. That's the phrase that just came through, and I don't really know how that applies, but it just seems as if you're somehow, you may have created a very beautiful life or home or space, or even a successful business for yourself, but it seems as if you're now, you feel a little bit rooted there, or you feel a little bit stuck there. And so with the Three of Swords, it just feels as if this week you're going to realize like what your weak point is, or what that is that's making you feel stuck, in order to get unstuck, because you're not stuck. Clarified Judgment. The Chariot. You're not stuck, and then you get the Chariot, all about movement, travel, success, forward movement, multitasking, and just this kind of energy of all around it's travel. It's something about a car, could be significant. You're making a decision though, a decision to move, to stay, to travel, to explore, to succeed in a new area. Some of you've kind of like explored everything in your current career and achieved what you could achieve, and you're like, I'm done here, and you're making that judgment call, it's time to go. And it's like kind of like a pivotal moment in your life. Just one little decision changes everything, and because this is two major arcana, it's Judgment and the Chariot, and it just feels as if you're deciding to commit to a new path for a lot of you. Clarifying Seven of Pentacles, you have the Star. The Star is wish fulfillment, healing, big things, inspiration. Some of you are waiting to be inspired, some of you are waiting for a wish to come true, because Seven of Pentacles are all about waiting. So it's almost like you've wished for something, you've asked the universe for something, and now you're just waiting for it to kind of appear in your life. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's a feeling of just like you waiting though. That's the only problem. There's no problem with this at all. Wishing and hoping and dreaming, it's amazing. It gives you something to look forward to. Nothing wrong with it. The only thing is he's standing still while he's doing so. And so that's kind of like if you are new to reading tarot, kind of notice what action they're doing, and he's not doing anything. He's standing there looking and waiting. So it just seems as if there's something you don't realize you can do in terms of what you're wishing and hoping for next. And if some of you are like, I'm not wishing for anything, there is something you're hoping for. There's something you're wanting, and you don't realize you can actually take steps towards it. Where you are with what you have right now, but it's like it hasn't quite, the epiphany hasn't landed. The light bulb is about to land, if that makes sense. Clarify the Seven of Cups. You have the Nine of Cups. That's nice. I feel as if you're going from this energy of waiting to actually, instead of waiting, let me find a plan. And that's that Seven of Cups. That's why you're daydreaming. That's why this week you're daydreaming, because you're daydreaming about the different hats you could wear, or the different ways you could go about it. Like there's a plan you're about to put into action. And then with that Nine of Cups, happiness, I feel as if you're going to really enjoy experimenting. There's something you're experimenting with in order to then get wish fulfillment, in order to get your dreams. You're moving from waiting to actually, well, what's the harm in trying? What's the harm? Like, what have I got to lose? I'm going to try a few different masks on. I'm going to try a few different strategies. What's the worst that can happen? And then you find yourself more success. But the thing is about this success is this is emotionally content. So you're going to be very happy with yourself. Whereas this success at the start, you're successful in terms of wealth, abundance, stability, but it's quite shallow success. Like it doesn't fuel your soul, if that makes sense. Whereas this is like your soul is fueled, you feel like yourself, but it's coming after having to try something, and it feels as if you might have to try a lot of things, but you might find yourself actually, what I'm trying to say is, it feels as if it's going to be a long journey of experimenting, but you actually find your fit really quickly, whatever that means. I'm going to wrap your reading up here. Thank you so much for watching. If anything I said resonated or you feel it will in the future, please let me know by liking and subscribing, and I'll see you next Tuesday for Tiny Little Tarot Tuesdays.